you are on a 35-day journey from A to B, in which case you're going from either Ushuaia down to the peninsula and then across to the Ross Sea and finishing in New Zealand, or vice versa. I love the journey. I love the flexibility that it allows as well. As an expedition leader, you are literally 8 days from civilization, if you want to call it that, in either direction. And it's just much wilder. There are so many places along the way that have never really had anyone set foot. Explorers, perhaps, but not modern day explorers on vessels like ours. I think it probably is the wildest ship-based expedition. You're on the limits of what's possible.
Last Zodiac's 11 o'clock. If you want to go back at any time sooner, just come to the landing. Have a wonderful time ashore here at Pokwa Park with the Adelie penguins. Slide forward.
My name's Brent Stephenson and I'm an expedition leader with Lindblad Expeditions National Geographic. Growing up in New Zealand, birds were the most obvious form of wildlife, and so I grew up watching birds, and so I've had a very keen interest right through to going to university to study ornithology through to PhD level, and then fell into the whole expedition world as well. I started as a naturalist with an interest in birds, and gradually I moved on to expedition leader. The Epic Antarctic trip was a trip that I'd wanted to do for a long time. Once you get down a little bit from the peninsula, you're in this isolated part of the world very few people ever get to see, and icebergs, the ice, all of those things that are down there are just much more extreme. The starkness of the landscape, these huge mountains that are covered in snow and ice, and just the beauty of it. There's no clutter, there's no other vessels. The journey doesn't just encapsulate the Antarctic. As you head north from the Ross Sea, you head into the New Zealand Subantarctic islands, and I'm not that biased. Yes, I'm from New Zealand, but they are just spectacular. And so you've got new species of penguins that people are unlikely to have seen before, and you've got the green again, you've got vegetation, tussocks and small trees as you get further north in those islands. But they're just so rich and wildlife filled. It's just very diverse. So humpback off the point here, two of them. As an expedition leader, one of the things that I really like is the challenge of putting together a voyage that people are going to love. You know, they're going to go home with great memories. So always thinking about, okay, so today we're doing this, what can we do tomorrow that's different? Or, you know, on a journey like the Epic Antarctic, what can we do in 3 weeks that's going to be different? You're like, well, okay, we start here and we finish here, but pretty much everything in between is up to us to come up with. And by us, I mean the captain and the expedition team, to be able to work out, okay, what are the key things that we want to be able to show to our guests? Is getting into places like the Bay of Whales and the Ross Sea, is that going to be possible? Why would you go to the Bay of Whales? It's the most southerly point that you can go on our planet on a vessel. And we managed to do that on our trip. That was an incredible experience. The beauty of expedition travel is no matter how long the journey, you get on board the vessel, you unpack, and that's your home for however long. But also you're traveling with like-minded people who want to learn about the places they're going to, and you're traveling with no better team to impart all that knowledge and give that information than our expedition team, who have passion about the places they are. At the end of a voyage, when people are leaving the ship and they're crying, you know, they've had such an incredible time that they're blown away by what they've seen and what they've done. That gives you a great feeling of, wow, we've really achieved something here. And hopefully imparted that little spark in people that they want to continue to travel, but also they want to build on their knowledge of the world and maybe care for the planet a bit more.